Hello friends, in this lecture we will learn about post-Mauryan age. In lecture 9 we learned about Mauryan Empire and territorial extent of Mauryan Empire. In this lecture we will see what happened after the fall of Mauryan Empire. After the fall of Mauryan Empire, a smaller kingdom emerged. In northwest region, foreign invasion started. Indo-Greek were the first foreign invader. After that, Indo-Scythians or Saka attacked India, then Indo-Parthians, then Kusan, and then Indo-Sassanian. In Bihar region, Mauryan was followed by Sunga dynasty, and Sunga was followed by Kanva dynasty. In Deccan or southern region, Mauryan Empire was followed by Satavahana dynasty. After the fall of Satavahana, five smaller kingdoms emerged from Satavahana Empire: Abhira in Maharashtra, Chuttu in Karnataka, Vakatak in MP, Ichwaku in Andhra, and Pallav in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu region. Malwani dynasty succeeded Mauryan Empire in Odisha region. Society of post-Mauryan age. In post-Mauryan period, Sudra were classified into two groups. One is Nirvasit Sudra and another one is Anirvasit Sudra. Nirvasit Sudra were exiled Sudra living outside the village community. And Anirvasit Sudra were Sudra who were allowed to live within village boundary or village community. Sunga dynasty. In Bihar region, Mauryan Empire was succeeded by Sunga dynasty. Sunga dynasty was founded by Pushyamitra Sunga, and Pushyamitra Sunga was mentioned as Anarya or non-Aryan by Ban Bhatt in his book Harsh Charitra because he killed his master. Pushyamitra Sung killed the last Mauryan ruler Brihadrat and founded the Sunga dynasty. After the rise of Buddhism and setback to Vedic or Brahmanic tradition in modern time, Pushyamitra Sung tried to revive the Vedic culture. How he did it, we will see in this lecture. Ayodhya inscription by King Dhanadev of Sunga ruler. It give description that Pushyamitra Sung conducted two Ashwamedh Yagna with the help of Patanjali. Patanjali was writer of Sanskrit grammar book Mahabhasya. In modern time period, the rituals were banned, but to revive the Vedic culture, Pushyamitra Sung conducted two Ashwamedh Yagna. In Malvik Agnimitram, Kalidas mentioned the battle of Sindhu river, and probably in that book, the Sindhu river probably mentioned the Kali Sindh river. Kalidas mentioned the fight between Vasumitra, grandson of Pushyamitra, and Greek ruler Demetrius. After the war, the Ashwamedh Yagna was successfully completed. The Pushyamitra Sung introduced new governing code Manu Smriti. In modern time, Ashoka introduced Vyavahar Samhita and Dand Samhita. And as per Vyavahar Samhita and Dand Samhita, same punishment for all Varna. So Brahman were not happy with this rule, Vyavahar Samhita and Dand Samhita. So Pushyamitra Sung introduced Manu Smriti. Um, Different punishment for same crime based on based on social division or caste system. He Pushyamitra Sung patronized Sanskrit in scholars including Patanjali. He made the Sanskrit as a court language and he popularized the Sanskrit language. So it get accepted by many scholars, even the Buddhist monk, and this laid the foundation of Mahayana Buddhism. Divyavadna of Divyavadna, a Buddhist text, mention that Pushyamitra Sung persecuted Buddhist monk and demolished Buddhist monastery and stupas, including Sachi stupa. There were 84,000 stupa that were built in Mauryan time, but Lot of lot of the stupa were demolished by Pushyamitra Sun. Rise of Bhagavad Dharma. Start of the worship of Vishnu. Garun pillar of Vidisha by Heliodorus, an ambassador of Greek king Antiochus. The pillar was erected next to a Vishnu temple. Although the temple did not survive today, but the first temple of India is attributed to Sunga ruler, that is Vishnu temple at Vidisha. Hathi Gumfa inscription of King Kharwal. It gives description of fight between King Kharwal, Mahameghavana dynasty and Pushyamitra Sun, Yug Puran of Gargi Samhita. Meander attacked Patliputra, but Pushyamitra Sun managed to save Patliputra, and at that time the Mathura was under the control of Greek ruler. And we give this detail that Mathura was under the control of Greek from Yavanraj inscription or Maghera inscription. Pushyamitra Sun was succeeded by his son Agnimitra. During Gupta time, Kalidas brought Malvik Agnimitram, a Sanskrit play, and it was related to Agnimitra of Sunga dynasty. It described the love story of Agnimitra and Malvika, so it was named as Malvik Agnimitram. He was liberal person, not like his father, so he renovated Sachi Stupa, which was demolished by his father Pushyamitra. The Sachi stupa was built by Mauryan ruler and it was brick-based stupa. But when Agnimitra renovated the Sachi stupa, he converted it to stone stupa. The Bharut stupa was renovated and a Toran were added to Bharut stupa by Vastiputra Danbhuti. And Vastiputra Danbhuti was probably a vassal of Sunga ruler. The culture of adding toran or gateway to stupa was added during the Sunga dynasty or Sunga time period. In Mauryan time period, there was only stupa, but in Sunga time period, they started adding boundary with a decorated gateway or toran. Initially the capital was Patliputra, but later the capital was changed to Vidisha. The last Sunga ruler was Devbhuti, and he got killed by his minister Vasudev Khan. Vasudev Khan started Kanva dynasty. The the killing of Devbhuti by Vasudev Khan is mentioned by Banbhat. In 28 BC, the Khan dynasty was brought to an end by Satvana dynasty, and Susarma was the last Khan ruler who got killed by Satvana rulers. Patanjali in his book Mahabhas mentioned Indo-Greek and Sakas as Sudra, Anirvasit Sudra, while Mani Smriti lists Yavan or Indo-Greek, Kambojas, Sakas, Pallavas and Paradas as degraded Kshatri or second-class Kshatri. Manu Smriti. It was written from 2nd century BC to 3rd century AD, but it was started. The compilation of Manu Smriti started during the reign of Pushyamitra Singh. The It was very important for those who have sociology optional because lot of controversies is attached with Manu Smriti regarding caste system, woman status, and soc- other social rule. I give a small description of Manu Smriti here. Manu Smriti is the word of Lord Brahma to Manu. It is collection of 12 books or chapter with 2694 hymns. It play an important role in the justification of the caste system. According to it, if a Brahman marries a Sudra woman, he lost the rank of Brahman. He will he will not be Brahman anymore. The Manu Smriti states law for all social classes, including Brahman, Kshatri, Sudra, and Vaisya. It is patriarchal in nature and acknowledges gender and social inequality as natural condition for human existence. It mentions woman as a person who can corrupt a man. So women should live under the protection of male, either father, husband, or son. And and it also talk about respecting the woman. The woman should be honored, but they should live under the protection of male. The Manu Smriti was translated in English by Sir William Jones in 1794. In the year 1794, B.R. Ambedkar publicly burned the Manu Smriti during Mahar Satyagraha in 1927 because he was he was against the caste system and he was not happy with what was written in Manu Smriti. Rise of Sanskrit. As Sunga made the Sanskrit as court language, and this resulted in the rise of Sanskrit language. Uh, we we found the we found development of Sanskrit in pre-Mauryan time and in post-Mauryan time. But Mauryan time period was like a dry period for Sanskrit language development. So we can see how the Sanskrit developed because of Sunga dynasty. In the field of grammar, in this slide, the blue line mention Sanskrit development in pre-Mauryan time period, and red line mention Sanskrit development in post-Mauryan time period. In the field of grammar, Panini, who lived in 5th century BC, wrote Ashtadhyayi, the Sanskrit grammar book, and in that grammar book we find earliest reference to poetry or Puttal Natak, Katyayan, Katyayana. He lived from 6th to 3rd century BC. He wrote Vartika Kara, and it was elaboration of Panini grammar. Patanjali, he lived in 2nd century BC in the court of he was court person of Pusmitra Sum. He wrote Mahabhasya, and Mahabhasya is commentary on Ashtadhyayi. Regarding the field of theatre, Narad Muni in 900 BC wrote Sangeet Makrand, and then Nandi Keswar in 6th to 5th century BC. Nandi Keswar was considered as theater, theatrologist of ancient India. He wrote Abhinay Darpan, treatise on art. Then Bharat Muni, he lived from 200 around 200 BC to 200 AD, and he is considered as father of Indian theatrical art form. He wrote Natya Shastra, treatise on art. Then Bhasya, who lived around 200 2nd century to 1st century BC, and he was considered as earliest Sanskrit playwright. He wrote 13 Sanskrit plays, but his plays were compiled in 2nd century AD. Ashwaghosh, the Buddhist monk who lived in 1st century AD, and he lived in the court of Kanishk. He was great Indian poet before Kalidas, and his book Sariputra Prakharan was first classical drama of India, first classical Sanskrit drama of India. Sometimes Ashwaghosh is referred as first first Sanskrit playwriter because the date of Bhasya the date of living of Bhas is not very clear. So sometimes Ghosh was mentioned as the first Sanskrit playwright, but the correct one is Bhasya. Bhas was the earliest Sanskrit playwright. In Matang Muni, he lived around 6th century AD. He wrote Brihadesi, and Brihadesi was the first text to directly speak of rag, and it mentioned about classification of marg and desi. Marg was classical music and Desi was folk music. So it gives description about classical and folk music. Priyadesi give description about classical and folk music. Abhinav Gupta of Kashmir, he lived around 10th century AD. He wrote Abhinav Bharti and it was commentaries on Natya Shastra. Sarangadev of Kashmir, he lived around 13th century AD. He wrote Sangeet Ratnakar. Pandit Ahobal, he lived around 1665. In the year 1665, he wrote Sangeet Parijat. In the field of Ayurveda, Susrut, he lived in Kasi and he was considered as father of surgery or father of plastic surgery. He lived around 7th century BC. He wrote Susrut Samhita and that is related to surgery. Charak, he was who Charak lived around 2nd century AD. He was court person of King Kanishk. He wrote Charak Samhita on and it is related to medicine. Vagbhat of Kashmir. He lived around 610 AD and he wrote Astangsa Hriday Samhita. Susrut Samhita, Charak Samhita, and Astangsa Hriday Samhita are collectively known as Brihat Triyai or Trinity of Ayurveda. Trin- Trinity of Ayurveda. In the northwest region, foreign invasion started. The first foreign invader was Indo-Greek. Indo-Greek was known as Yavan in Sanskrit and Jonas in Pali. In Asokan edict, they were mentioned as Jonas. They ruled from the capital Tatsila and Sakala. In 200 BC, Demetrius, the Greek ruler of Bactria, attacked and captured Punjab and Afghanistan. When Pushyamitra Singh organized Ashwamedh Yagna, a fight happened between Vasumitra, grandson of Pushyamitra, and Demetrius. Demetrius sent his two commanders for further conquest. The two commanders were Apollodotus and Meander I. Apollodotus conquered Sindh and marched up to Ujjain. He was the first Greek king to rule Indian territory only. While While the Apollodotus conquered Sindh and Ujjain region, Meander captured Mathura and attacked Patliputra, but Patliputra was successfully defended by Pushyamitra Singh. Mathura became the in the under the Indo-Greek rule. Mathura became the center of craft development. Mathura became famous for a special cloth known as sataka. Meander, also known as Soter, established his capital at Sakala or Sialkot. He accepted Buddhism. His dialogue with Buddhist monk Naksen were compiled in Sanskrit work Naksen Bhiksutra. Later it was translated into Pali language as Milind Panu. In English it is known as Question of Milind. Indo-Greek were the first to issue gold coin in India. First ruler to issue gold coin with king image and year. The inscription on coins were in Greek and Kharosthi script. Meander I issued coins with Dhammachak of Buddhism. Greek ruler Joilios I took the title of Dharmikasa. Took the Pali title of Dharmikasa. Dharmikasa means follower of Dhamma. Development of Gandhar art started during Indo-Greek ruler. A Greek ambassador, Heliodorus, became a Vaisnavite and erected a Garud pillar at Basnagar, Vidisha MP. At that time, Vidisha was ruled by King Bagbhadra Sungarul. Raju the Indo-Scythian kings of northern Satrap, killed the last Indo-Greek ruler Strato II and his son Strato III in 10th century AD, and it was the end of Indo-Greek rule in India. Because of Greek culture influence, the curtain system was introduced in Indian theatre or Indian drama. Indo-Greek were followed by Indo-Scythians or Indo-Saka or simply Saka. Indo-Scythians or Saka were the nomadic tribes of Central Asia, came to India after getting attacked by Parthians from the west side. They were excellent horsemen. They popularized the use of reins and saddles. They introduced the use of reins and saddles. And without saddle without saddles it is hard to ride a horse. So they were excellent horsemen. Mouse or Mouse or Moga was the first Indo-Saka ruler. He ruled from 78 BC to 57 BC. He captured Gandhara and the Indus Valley region. He ruled from the capital Sirkap, Punjab. He tried to capture the Indo-Greek territory but failed. He issued coins with Buddhist and Hindu symbols. Greek and Greek and Prakrit language were inscripted on the coin, and the script was used. And Greek and Kharosthi script was used. The Tatsila copper plate inscription is issued by King Moga. In 57 BC, a king of Ujjain successfully defeated Sakas. He called himself Vikramaditya, and he also started Vikram era or Samvat to celebrate it. Now, the Vikram Samvat is a traditional Hindu calendar. The son of Moga, Ages I, succeeded him, and he successfully captured some Indo-Greek territory by defeating Indo-Greek ruler Hippostrat- Hippostratos, and Ages I started the Ages era in 47 BC. Bimaran cascade of Jalalabad, Pakistan. We get coins of Ages II from this cascade, and on the cascade we found Buddha surrounded by Brahma and Indra, and Brahma and Indra was depicted as Bodhisattva on that casket. Now this is in British Museum at London. Around 35 BC onward, the Saka territory was ruled by five different branches. So here is the map of 35 BC. Uh, in 35 BC, the Indo-Scythians or Saka divided into five different branch. One branch is Western Satrap who ruled Gujarat region. Another branch is Northern Satrap who used to rule Punjab and Himachal Pradesh region, and they have boundary with Indo-Greek. And other three branch used to rule the Pakistan and Afghanistan region. Around 10th century AD, Rajuvala, uh, northern Satrap king, killed the last Indo-Greek ruler Strato II and his son Strato III, and he took the control of Sagala from Indo-Greek rulers. Rajuvala ruled from the capital Mathura, and he erected Mathura Lion Capital. Again, this lion capital is in British Museum at London. And the the northern satrap came to end. The northern satrap rule came to end after the attack of Parthians and Kusan, but western satrap continued to rule till 415 AD. uh, uh, until they were attacked by Gupta ruler. So Western Satrap from 35 BC to 415 AD. They ruled from capital at Barigaja. Later, they made their capital Ujjain and Minnagara on the bank of Indus River. The Western Satrap continued to rule Gujarat region till 415 AD. In 415 AD, the Gujarat region was conquered by Chandragupta II of Gupta Empire with the help of Wakatak ruler. Last Western Satrap ruler was Rudrasimha III, which was defeated by Chandragupta II of Gupta Empire. Another important ruler of Western Satrap was Nahapan. He ruled over the territory of northern Maharashtra region. He contributed to the development of Buddhist caves, Karle Cave, Nasik Cave, and Junar Cave. Karle Cave has the largest chaitya uh, in in the Buddhist lecture. Uh, I in the Buddhist lecture I mentioned Karli, Nasik, and Junar Cave as cave developed under during the Satavahana time period. But Karli cave was developed by Karli cave was developed by Nahapan, and some cave at Nasik and Junar were developed by Nahapan. So we find Nahapan inscription at Karli cave, Nasik cave, Junar cave in Pune, and in Manmodi cave. Modi caves at Pune. We also find Indo-Greek inscription at Karli cave, Nasik cave, and Junar cave. Nahapan was defeated by Satvana ruler Gautamiputra Satkarni, and we give this detail from Pandavleni cave inscription of Nasik, and he lost the Maharashtra region to Satvana, to Gautamiputra Satkarni. Another important ruler of Western Satrap was Chastan. Ptolemy mentioned him as Tiasthins. He ruled from 78 AD to 130 AD, and he ruled from the capital at Ujjain. He was the founder of Bhadramukh or Kardamaka dynasty. He started the Saka era, which is now official calendar of Government of India. But some historians consider that Saka era was started by Kanishk, which is not true. The Saka era was started by Chastan, but as per Brahmagupta of 7th century AD and Al-Biruni of 10th century AD, the Sakavira was started by King Salivahana, grandson of Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya who started the Vikram Samvat or Vikramvira. And Brahmagupta and Al-Biruni used to mention the Saka era as Salivahana Saka era. Rudradaman I. He was the grandson of Chastan, and he was the greatest Saka ruler who took the title of Mahasatra. He married a Hindu woman and accepted Bud- Hinduism. He was the first king to issue an inscription in chaste Sanskrit at Junagadh rock inscription. The repair work of Sudarshan Lake was done under his patronage. Sudarshan Lake was built during the time period of Chandragupta Maurya. He conquered the territory which Nahapan lost to Gautamiputra Satkarni. He fought many many war with Satvahana, but later he concluded a matrimonial alliance with Satvahana. He married his daughter to Vasishthaputra Satkarni. Kanheri cave inscription give details about the marriage of Rudradaman daughter and Vasishthaputra Satkarni. Yauneshwara, a Greek scholar, translated a Greek astrology book to Sanskrit. Although the book did not survive, but the content of the Sanskrit translation is found in Yaun Jatka, written by Suji Dhauja. And Yauneshwara lived during the reign of Rudradaman I. Western Satrap came to end in 395 or 415 AD when Chandragupta II defeated Western Satrap ruler Rudrasimha III. Western Satrap were followed, um, the Indo-Scythians were followed by Indo-Parthians, and Indo-Parthians were Iranians. Uh, in in the map, you can see the territorial extent of Parthian kingdom. They were the Iranian people who used to rule Iranian Empire, and they were follower of Zoroastrian religion. In many ancient Indian Sanskrit texts, they were mentioned with Saka as Saka Pallavas. In, in 19th century AD, Gondophares declare independence from the Parthian Empire and laid the foundation stone of Indo-Parthian rule in northwest India. So in the map you can see the territorial extent of Parthian kingdom from Iran to Afghanistan, and from Afghanistan you will find the uh, empire of Indo-Parthian ruler, basically empire of Gondophares, who declared independence from Parthian kingdom, and he stabilized his own kingdom in India. Saint Thomas visited India to propagate Christianity during the reigns of Gondophares. He visited the court of Gondophares, and from there Saint Thomas visited Mujiris, Malabar region, Kerala in 52 AD, and Saint Thomas stabilized Azhar Pallikal, seven and a half churches in Kerala. Saint Thomas died and was buried in Chennai region. Takht-e-Bahi Buddhist monastery at Mardan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa was built by Indo-Parthian in 1st century AD. Although they were followers of Zoroastrian religion, but they built the Buddhist monastery at Khyber Pakhtunkhwa known as Takht-e-Bahi. Their rule in India came to an end after the attack of Kushan, but they continue to rule Sistan region. Sistan region is border of Iran, Afghanistan, and they continue to rule this region till 224 AD. In 224 AD, the Sistan region was captured by Sasanian Empire, and around 224 AD, the Sasanian Indo-Sassanian started to rule northwest India. Indo-Sassanian were follower of were the ruler of Iran kingdom. They succeeded Parthians. Kusan or Yuchi tribe. The Parthians were followed by Kusan. The Kusan first occupied Bactria by replacing Sakas. After that, they crossed the Hindu Kush region and captured the Gandhar region from Parthians. And later, they captured the Gangetic Basin. They ruled a substantial part of Central Asia, so sometimes referred to as Central and Asian Empire. You can see in the map the territorial extent of Kusan Empire. So they not only ruled Indian territory, but they ruled Central Asian territory also. And the Silk Route, Silk Route was passed through their territory from was through Kusan Empire. So they got the economical advantage of ruling the Silk Route. They used to collect the toll tax from traders. So and on Silk Route there was a lot of trading. So they get more toll tax, and their economy was very well because they controlled the Silk Route. And in India, Kusan ruled from their capital at Purusput, Peshawar, and Mathura. Mathura was their second capital. Kujula, Cad- Kujula Cadaphysus, um, he is also known as Cadaphysus I. He ruled from 30 to 80th century AD. He amalgamated five clans of Yuchi tribe and laid the foundation in stone of Kusan Empire in India. He issued copper coins, and he was succeeded by Vimatuka. Vima Cadphises or Cadphises II. He ruled from 95 AD to 95 AD to 100 to 127 AD. Rab, Rabatak, Rabatak is Rabatak inscription of Afghanistan mentioned that he was son of Vimatuka and father of Kanishk. He expanded the Kusan kingdom to the east of Indus and issued large number of gold coins with image of Lord Shiva. Kanishk. He was the greatest Kusan ruler who succeeded his father Vimakatpaises. He ruled from the capital Puruspur, Peshawar, and after capturing the Gangetic Basin, including Patliputra, he stabilized his second capital at Mathura. He issued large quantity of gold coin with high purity. The scholars of Kanishka quote Asughosh, Buddhist scholar who wrote Buddha Charit and Sundaranand. The Sundaranand described the conversion of Nanda. It was not Nanda ruler. The Nanda here is half brother of Gautam Buddha. So Sundaranand described the half conversion of Nanda, half brother of Buddha, to Buddhism. Vasumitra. He was Buddhist scholar who wrote Mahavibhasa. Mahavibhasa. It was encyclopedia of Buddhist philosophy. Nagarjuna, another Buddhist scholar, was of Kanishka court. Then Charak, who wrote Charak Samhita. Then Parsva, and then Ajas, and then Agesilaus. Agesilaus was Greek engineer who built Puruspur Stupa or Kanishk Stupa. And now Pakistan is working to get UNESCO World Heritage Site for Kanishk Stupa. Kanishk accepted Buddhism under the guidance of Asughosh. He organized the fourth Buddhist council at Kundalwan, Kashmir, under the leadership of Vasumitra. And in fourth Buddhist council, division of Buddhism happened, and two branches emerged: Hinayan Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. The commentaries of this council were engraved on copper sheets. His reign contributed to the development of Gandhar and Mathura school of art. Kanishk fought with Chinese king Han Hoti of Han dynasty and defeated the Chinese king in the second attempt. After Kanishk, the Kusan Empire was ruled by Vaska, Huiska, and Kanishk II, and then Vasudev I. Vasudev I was the last great Kusan ruler. After Vasudev I, the Kusan Empire disintegrated. The trade on the Silk Route not only helped the economy of Kusan Empire but also laid the foundation for transmission of Buddhism from India to China. Kusan used to trade horses with the Qing kingdom of Malaysia via sea route. The Kusan ruler took the title of King of Kings and Son of God. The Son of God title was inspired by Chinese ruler who took the title of Kings from Heaven or Heaven's King. The as we s- as we had seen in the map that Kusan ruled the Central Asian territory, where the winter was harsh. So to save themselves from winter, they used lot of clothes, and when they came to India, they introduced the turban, tunic, trouser, heavy long coat, cap, helmet, and boots. They they use all these to save themselves from the winter of Central Asian region, to the cold temperature of Central Asian region. Megwana dynasty ruled second. Megwana dynasty ruled Odisha region from 2nd century BC to 4th century AD. And they succeeded the Mauryan Empire in Odisha region. They are known as Megwana, Mahamegwana, or Chedi dynasty. The founder of the Megwana dynasty was Raj, Rajar, Rajarsi Vasu. And we give this detail from Hathi Gumfa inscription. Hathi Gumfa inscription is written in Prakrit language and in Brahmi script. They were originally Mahamegwana dynasty. The people of Mahamegwana dynasty, or the ruler of Mahamegwana dynasty, were originally from the Chedi kingdom of Mahajanpat time period. So sometime referred to as Chedi dynasty. They ruled the territory of Odisha. King Kharwal was the third ruler of this dynasty, And information regarding King Kharwal is found on Hathi Gumpha inscription at Udagiri cave in Bhubaneswar. And it was written on the order of King Kharwal and written in Prakrit language, Brahmi script. Kharwal was a Jain follower, and as per Hathi Gumpha inscription, King Kharwal led many successful campaigns. He defeated Pushyamitra Sung and brought back the Jinnah statue of Mahabira to Kaling, which was looted by Nanda rulers. And he also forced the Indo-Greek ruler to retreat to Mathura. In the Hathi Gumpha inscription, it is also mentioned that he broke the confederacy of Tamil kingdom, Cholchera and Pandya. But as the Hathi Gumpha inscription was written on him on his instruction, so the authenticity of Hathi Gumpha inscription uh, is 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 little bit doubtful. So we covered northwest region, we covered Bihar region, and then we covered Odisha region. Now the only region left is southern region or Deccan region, which was ruled by Satvana. We will cover the Satvana rule in next lecture, and and let's have a look on the coinage system in India, um, numismatic or the study of coin. Uh, There are three types of coin used in ancient India, that is punched mark coin, die struck coin and cast coin. Pre-1000 BC, pre-100 BC, majorly punched mark coin were used, and post-1000 BC, post-100 BC, die struck coin and cast coin were used in India, and die struck coin and cast coin are of better quality. So in Mauryan time period and Mahajanpa time period, the coin were of the coin used was a punch mark coin. Purana was the earliest punch mark coin, and another punched mark coin Karspana. We find the mention of Karspana in some Samvidan Brahmana of Samved, and it was the earliest mention of Karspana. And we also find the mention of Karspana in Ashtadhyayi of Panini. Now let's have a look on the difference between punched mark coin, die struck coin, and cast coin. Punched mark coin is carving and symbols on image and symbol on solid material, while in die struck coin, image was carved on the molten coin material. So we get better quality of coin in die struck coin. In cast coin, that is best quality coin, molten material was placed in a structure which resembled the required coin design. So we get the best quality coin in cast coin technique. In Mauryan time period or pre-Mauryan time period, in Mahajanpa time period, there was punch mark coin only, and it was irregular shape coin with motive. With motive in modern time, the symbols or motive used were wheels, elephant, sun, and peacock. The in post-modern time, foreign invaders introduced coin, which is same as modern coin, and so the first foreign invader Indo-Greek, they introduced the round shape coin and sometimes rectangular, but it was high quality coin, probably die struck or cast coin, and they used to on the coin they they depict the king image on one side and deities image on the another side, either Greek deities or Indian deities. In Indian deities, they used to depict Shiva, Vishnu, or Buddha, Shiva, Vishnu, Buddha, Mahavir, or other Indian deities. And they also used to mention the year. And the Indo-Greek coin were bilingual coin. Greek language on one side of the coin and Prakrit in Kharosthi script on the other side of coin. Indo-Scythians, they follow the trend of Indo-Greek. They they issued coin with image of king on one side and Buddhist chet or stupa on another side. And the language of the coin was Greek or Prakrit language with Kharosthi script. Kusan uh, Kusan ruler issued coin with image of king with helmet on his head on one side and deities on the other side. And the language printed on the Kusan coin was Greek language only. Satavahana issued coin. They issued mainly lead or Putin coin, and the most of the coin of Satavahana dynasty were most of the coin of Satavahana dynasty was symbol based coin. Um, the symbol was print. The symbol was engraved on both side of coin. On Ujjain symbol on one side of coin and on another side of coin horse, lion, chet or elephant symbol. And apart from this, they also issued coin with the king image, and they were the first Indian ruler to issue coin with the image of king. So I will end. So I will end my lecture here. Thank you.